Welcome to another episode of Hello World. Yes. How is everyone doing? I hope you had an amazing day. I hope it was great. You know how I like to start off? I like to say welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn on your notification bells. And if you can, hey, Flippin Crooters, and hey, Eat Sleep, how are you guys? And if you can, please give thumbs up or down, whatever you feel is comfortable for you. But I'm extremely excited about tonight. But before I get into that, I have to tell you my normal routine. Hey, my little tatted hearts, how are you? Did you open your bank account? That's all I want to know. So I woke up this morning pretty early and I just felt like I needed to recenter myself. So I kind of like meditated a little bit and then I went to church. And then after church, I went to the gym. I felt really good all day. So it was a decent day. How were you guys? How was your day? How were your days? Hey, Rosie, how are you? Remember what the chat is all about. Let's keep it PG, please. So yes, it was a decent day, and I can't complain. Um, you're good. I saw you earlier in Kima's chat. Do you really not know what soul food is? And for real, did you get a chance to open up your bank account? I'm not gonna be upset with you. I'll just keep on badgering you until you do it. Yes. Tonight, Rosie, I have a guest on tonight that will be coming on, but I do want you to stay in the chat because I think you will truly appreciate what she has to say. So please stay in the chat and please stick around for that. Oh my goodness. Can you dig that? Yes. Keep this chapter page 13. Keep this chat PG-13. Oh, yeah, it's for sure. So yeah, Tatted, come on, I'm waiting. Did you get your bank account going yet? So anyway, guys, while we're waiting to hear what Tatted has to say, I'm going to tell you today's guest is going to be the Shamrock Pixie, none other than Destinie. Now, before I bring her in, I just want to let you guys know, I was pretty much starting my channel and started doing my channel really like in February or so. And then I came across Norga's R's chat, and she does different things on a daily basis. And both of these people you can find in the description down below. And I just was freshly new to them, probably didn't know them for more than 2 weeks, but there was a connection. Like Shamrock was probably the first person to ever come into my chat. And I really appreciated that. And she commented, and I was never, ever, and I never expected anyone to really, pay attention or come to my chat and really engage. And when I went back into the different streams that she was in, that she just happened to be in and I happened to go in at the same time, she always said some really nice things about me. And so like from there, like a bond was created. And then one day I was in Norga's R's chat, because she does a morning chat every morning. And she was talking about how, no, it wasn't her. It was NASCAR Man 3345 who was talking about how, like, yeah, prayers for Destiny. I was like, who? I was like, I know you're not talking about Shamrock, right? Because I still didn't know everybody's real name. And I was like, I know you're not talking about her. So she had an emergency and was in the hospital. And I was like, what are you talking about? I just saw her like 12 hours ago. She was in my chat saying, whatever, you handled those trolls really well. And I was like, wait, that can't be true. So then it was really true. But what calmed me, because I got really, really nervous. And I was just like, I can't believe this. Like, here's somebody that just started to get to know and got comfortable with seeing, and just really, really appreciative of, her just being there for me when I had nobody in my chats. So when I found out that she was really going through something serious, I was like, what? And I started praying. And then lo and behold, here comes Destinie in the chat. She's like, look, I'm not she's like, look, I know I just had to come on. And I mean, like, my nerves went from here back down to regular. So guys, I would like to introduce you to Destinie, the Shamrock Pixie. Please, please, please take your notebooks out because we will be talking about mental health, things that we can look out for, signs, and also just how we can cope with each other during times like this. So, I want to introduce to you none other than the Shamrock Pixie. Everybody, please give a great big in the chat. Holla, Shamrock Pixie.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Thank you. There's a lot of people in your chat. That's awesome.
Really? You have something that they want to hear.
Yeah,
So it's
I hope so.
everybody, including me, we're all here for you. We want to hear what you have to say. And so like I'm gonna shut up from now, and everybody, please give her your ear, give her your heart, and definitely please respect her and what she has to say. Go on ahead.
All right. So, how do I start? I am the Shamrock Pixie, a.k.a. Destiny, and I just recently did a video, a live, explaining my mental health issues that I have. I am not a doctor. I am not a counselor. I am just a normal person who suffers with it every single day. And I want to get the awareness out there and not make it so taboo to speak about it. Because a lot of people won't speak about it because it is so taboo. It's an issue that when you start talking about it, people just clam up. And we need to get it out there, get that awareness out there. And there's so many people that suffer alone. And it's time that we break that silence. It's time to get it out there and help each other, because we can all be diagnosed with the same mental disorder, but it will affect us, each and every one of us, differently. And so I love you too, Rebecca. I see the Flippin Crooters are here. Tommy actually gave them that name. And so that's pretty awesome. It's amazing to see her here. She was very disappointed that she couldn't be be in the chat when I did my live the other day. She didn't get a notification. So thank you for being here, my friend. Much love. And I do that, the much love thing, because I want people to know that they're not alone. We need to show love. We see so many times where people are negative, and it's time to bring positive out there. It put the good karma out there. So much love with the heart is to let everybody know that our hearts are full and pure, and it's nothing but love. And so I see you have a lot more people. Joy Brown, hello. I don't recognize your name.
She's definitely she's been in here a few times. So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you don't mind sharing, like what were you diagnosed with?
Okay, so I was diagnosed with PTSD, agoraphobia. I have severe anxiety. I have a fear of people. There is a term for that. I just can't pronounce it. It's just easier to say fear of people. And I have, so I wrote it down, and of course I can't find it right here now. And depression. Those are the mental illness. Those are the mental illnesses that I have. They all coincide with each other. Yep. So it's a social anxiety, but there's like this big name with it, and phobia thing, if you want to, for the techies,
Did you like feel anything? Like, did you feel like you were like different, or like what made you even come to the idea that you needed to see somebody to see like, is something wrong with me, or not wrong with you, but is there like something off?
Well, so when I was younger, I was in cheerleading. I wouldn't say I was a popular kid, but everybody in school knew me. I knew them. I would always walk in the halls and say, "Hey, have a great day."
Mm.
You know, I was bullied in school by the let me think of the correct the punk girls in school,
Mm.
because I didn't fit into their idea of what a girl should be according to their rules. So I got bullied a lot in high school, but I didn't let it get me down. I still had a positive attitude. I still, I could fit into any group besides that one, and just do what I needed to do. But then I ended up in a bad relationship, and he like groomed me to believe that I was all these negative bad things.
Mm.
And I tried leaving, and because I knew what he was capable, I would keep going back because he would threaten my family. My mom, my dad, and my brothers. Um, because I knew what he was capable of, I was afraid he was really going to do these things to my family. And finally, I was able to break free. And when I did, I had to go into hiding for 4 years. And during that 4 years, he would find me. So that's where a lot of the fear of people, the agoraphobia, the PTSD came in. And then I would hear his voice in my head saying, "You're dumb, you're fat, you're stupid, you can't do anything right." And it just it beat me down and beat me down. And then finally it got to a point, and I was about, mm, I'm trying to think here, um, 25, when I actually just was so numb and I knew something in my head was not clicking right.
Mm.
And all these bad thoughts, all these feelings that I couldn't explain. I was afraid I was going to do something to myself that would have been permanent. And I, I was scared. So I admitted myself into a hospital. Um, when I was 19, um, I guess I didn't realize that that's initially when it started, the grooming that he was doing, the, I don't know how to explain the technical terms for what he was doing, other than all I can think of is the word grooming.
Yeah, that's the best term. That's the best term.
Okay, so I before then I was like, I'm the top of the world. I had a scholarship to go to Joe Blasco. I was stoked, and then I was like, well, I'm not good enough. That's when it started initially, was when I would like sit there and be like, well, no, I'm not good enough to do this, so I'm not going to do it. And I gave up a lot of things because of it. And now at the age of 39, I'm finally speaking out. And I was going to do this actually before my spleen ruptured. That was the plan. I
Right,
was
right,
going
right.
to sit down, do a video, and put it all out there. And then I
Yeah,
was
I
in the
remember you were telling me about it, and I was like, "Go ahead, girl,
hospital.
do it." Can I
Yep.
ask you, like, how did you guys even meet?
Um, who? Me and my
You
ex?
and the guy that was, like, abusive.
High school.
Okay.
We went to high school together, and I was a freshman at the time. He was a senior, and he was one of the guys that everybody absolutely thought was cool, and he had the fastest car in school, and like he was, all the girls wanted to be with him. And when I hit my senior year, it was my junior into senior year. I ran into him, and he like said all the right things, and like he had my dad convinced he was a phenomenal guy, and he like I was supposed to go to prom with somebody else, and they backed out. They got in trouble is what it was. They got grounded, so they couldn't go. So he was like, oh, I'll take you, it's okay, and we'll just go as friends. And yeah, I mean, he seriously, my dad's pretty good judge of character, but he even had my dad fooled. But we went to school together, and when he graduated, I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't the type of girl that was like, oh my God, look how hot he is. You know, it was just, oh, it's another guy, you know. And then found out that he lived actually just down the road from me. So I ended up running into him, and we started talking. And the next thing you knew, I graduated high school and we started dating.
Mm. So let's fast forward to like um, your healing, like when you started like just saying to yourself like I'm better than this, and then like how do you manage like sometimes when you want to spiral out.
um, it's just been recently, to be honest, probably in the last couple months, where I'm like, wait a minute, this is getting ridiculous. I need to do something. And it's probably because I almost died because of my spleen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I mean, even before then, I was like, do I have the guts to go out there and tell everybody my personal stuff? Do I really have the nerve to do it? And I was fighting with it, and then you know, I guess I just wasn't the time then. And it's been May, June, July, August. It'll be 3 years or 3 months, not 3 years, 3 months since my spleen.
Uh-huh.
And um, I was on a Thursday night show with two very good friends, and I just didn't fit in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I felt really dumb when they would have guests on, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a reseller. And that's where initially, like, I was the face of the bargain effect. You know, I was the one that um, would go out there and promote the bargain effect, which is my fiance's business.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like, I can't do it. It's causing my anxiety to go high. I can't answer a lot of these questions. No matter how much he coached me on it, I couldn't get it right. And I was like, you need to go out there and you need to like be the face of the bargain effect. And he's like, okay, not a problem. And then 2 Saturdays ago, not this past or not last night, but the week before, somebody had made a comment during our live that said, oh, we seen the Shamrock Pixie everywhere. And then all of a sudden she was gone. And then there was Tommy. And I'm sitting there thinking, that's because my nerves got the best of me and I couldn't do it. And I was slowly starting to um, back away from YouTube, to the point where I didn't want to do any lives. I didn't want to go live
Mm-hmm.
because it was too much. And that comment alone, kind of flipped a switch in my head, I guess. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm not a reseller, but I encourage people.
Right.
I give them that you can do it no matter what, And Tommy, actually the day before I did my live, sat down with me and he's like, that comment that was made, he's like, I wanted to tell you that, but I didn't. And I'm like, huh. I'm like, so what do I do? And so we sat, and Tommy, a lot of you don't know who he is, but he's my fiance, and he has a YouTube channel as well. He's somebody that does a lot of research. The first year we were together, I thought that he was the magic cure because I didn't have any issues. Like I didn't, like my depression didn't get to me, my
Mhm.
PTSD. Like I felt like I was completely cured until exactly 1 year later, and it started. And
What
I'm like,
what triggered that?
I don't know.
Okay.
It just happened. And I was like, crap. And like everything was going so well, and then here it starts back up. And I couldn't tell you if it was a movement, a smell, a
Mhm.
word, because all that stuff can trigger it. I have no idea just what all of a sudden it just came back like that. So I had to actually break down and tell him what was going on with me.
Mhm.
And he kind of looked at me like, hmm. And I was waiting for them words. Well, this isn't going to work. It was
Oh,
nice knowing you. See you later. Bye. No, he got up, he went to the computer, and he did research. And I'm like, okay, this is. I'm like, okay, so
that's
you're a researcher, huh? Because we hung out, and we had a lot of fun and stuff like that. And I knew he sat behind the computer a lot, and I didn't quite know exactly what he was doing at the computer, but I
okay.
knew that he would read things, and then he'd go and tell me about it, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But then I tell him what's going on with me, and he gets up nonchalantly, goes sits in front of the computer, and then starts typing away, and he's reading and reading and reading, and so it was just it was crazy because I really thought he was going to get up and leave. And there are still to this day times where I know that I'm going through an episode. That's what I call them. A lot of people call them different things. I call them episodes, because sometimes they last long times, sometimes they
Mhm.
last like this, little times, and then sometimes I don't have them at all. And there are still to this day times where I'm afraid that he's just going to get up and walk away because it's too much. And he hasn't. And those are the times, and I don't know how he does it, but those are the times that he's extra, extra sweet. And I don't know how to handle that. Like
Okay.
he will sit there and
Okay.
he'll tell me, oh, you were beautiful. And I'm like,
What are you talking about? Don't call me beautiful.
right. I'm like, what you on? And why aren't you sharing? And so it's even today it takes a lot for me to get used to things, and I'm still trying to learn the whole, when he gives me a compliment, not to break down in tears and stuff like that. It's and it does it takes a lot. And
Mhm.
I'm reading what Melissa said.
Melissa, yeah.
Feel this you've been in and going through is only so you can help others. That's neat. Imagine everyone you're helping by talking to us all. And that's the thing. When I did my live,
Mhm.
so many people contacted me.
Yeah.
And I will not give out names.
Yeah,
But
disclosure. Yeah.
yeah, so I might be a little bit like a doctor, the HIPAA law,
Yeah.
unless they tell me.
What it is it's like people are still afraid, and we're taught like it's not cool to talk about your issues and to say,
Right.
like, admit that you have something going on. So that's why people are afraid to like really say out to the world and be like, hey, yeah, I suffer from this too. You
Yeah.
know, nobody
And
wants
that's why we need more people coming out and saying, hey, hello, you're
to.
not alone. I'm here too. I got this wrong with me. But you know what? Anybody who comes to me and talks to me will not have to worry about me going on YouTube, going out in the world and saying, hey, did you know that this person's got this? Because I know what that's like,
Mhm.
because people have done it to me. People
Mhm.
have taken advantage of me because of it.
And that only
And
probably made you have an episode.
oh yeah, the things I could tell you about YouTube sometimes.
Mm.
But but I want people to be able to feel comfortable to go to somebody. Everybody's triggers everybody's warning signs are different. And you just, if you're in a relationship, okay, let's say you're not the one that's suffering from the mental illness,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but you're with somebody who is suffering from mental illness. Learn their signs.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to learn the signs and their red flags before they go into an episode, because Tommy is still learning to this day, and we've been together for almost 8 years. There are days where he knows that I need him to come over and wrap his arms around me and give me a big hug and let me know that everything will be okay. Then there's other times that he stays clear. But he knows that because he studies, he watches, he he memorizes it. And if you don't think you can handle doing that, then they need somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't waste their time by pretending, because that's, in the end, that's only going to make it worse. It really is. Oh, my computer. I didn't freeze, did I?
No, you didn't. You
Okay.
didn't.
It
So
looked like
I
I
don't
froze.
know, because I'm just here in the StreamYard. Hey, let me just shout out a few people. So shout out to Ice Water, Norgis, Trish, Shamrock, Trish. Please, guys, connect, because she has a platform that raises awareness for a lot of different things. Right now, she's trying to do a petition for people dragging kids on YouTube. So please check her out. She's not only a cool person, but I like the fact that she's trying to do some things that are nonprofit type of things, and also things that help children. So since we're talking about children, and shout out to Dark Memories. Thank you for coming by. I only met Dark Memories one time. Other than this, I appreciate you coming by. Melissa W., you are so robotically amazing. Yeah, I'm just joking. But Storage, Ricardo, thank you. But anyway, so please, guys, in the chat, don't think that I'm ignoring you or anything, but I really want to focus on what we're doing right now, because right now we're trying to help people. And once this stream is over, it's still going to continue, because people may watch this after. And I don't want people to think and reflect like, oh, it's just all about chats. But it's really about a person who is going through the actual suffering through an illness, who is being so gracious enough to give us an insight for people who may not go through the same things, on what we can look for and how we can handle it and how we can manage. If we're people who are suffering from different things, that we can actually feel like so you have children. How do you actually speak to them about what you go through? Do you even tell them what you're going through? Do they know that you suffer from these different ailments? And how do you actually just make them know that it's okay and feel like they're not different?
I know that they knew when they were little that there was something up, because we would go outside, okay? And I said this on my live, we would go outside and people would come outside and I'd be like, okay, we got to go inside. And then I would wait for them to go back in or disappear, and then we would go back out. And so a lot of times they didn't get to go outside and play like normal children, and they didn't understand, and I didn't know how to communicate to them the fear that I had of people. And so when Tommy came into the picture, he was able to let them be kids a little more. And we didn't lie to him, but he started telling, well, mom doesn't feel good. So they were like, oh, mom doesn't feel good all the time. Well, then it was like, no, we got to tell them. We got to let them know. And I have been super blessed to have an amazing family. My kids understand, I think, a lot more and have more compassion for others because of what I
Mhm.
suffer through.
Mhm.
My daughter, she will go up to people and strangers, and if she feels or sees that they're having a bad day or they look sad,
Mhm.
she will go up to them. And we had to break this when she was little. She would
Mhm.
go up to them and she would give them a hug and tell them, "Have a great day." And they would smile and they would be like, "This little girl just came up to me and gave me a hug. She doesn't know who I am." And then people started getting a little weird. So we were like, "You can wish people a good day, but you can't just run up to somebody and give them a hug because that's a bubble issue. That's a boundary issue that we had to teach her." Um, and so, both of them are very compassionate. Jaslyn more than Joseph. Joseph's a boy, the whole
In his own way, in his own
thing.
way.
Yeah, I was like, you have a good day. I'll wave to you, but I ain't touching you, you know? And so, um, but we did. Hold on one second. Mr. Pickles, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Thank you. Sorry. Um, so they, I feel that when they were younger, I was very selfish, even though I know I couldn't control it. But another amazing thing about Tommy being in our life is that he was able to help me sit down with the kids, explain what was going on, and teach them when mommy's going through this, this is what we need to do.
Mm,
And so it's still to this day very tough, but they're more understanding than I think if we would have just kept it hidden.
right, right.
And so I know for a while they thought I was the meanest mommy in the world and didn't understand why I didn't want to go outside or I didn't want to do this or I didn't want to do that.
Mhm.
But explaining it to them and teaching them this is how we have to do things, this is how it is, and this is part of our life,
Mhm.
they're more accepting. They're more willing to say, "Hey, mom, I got this. Sit down, take a breather." We do woosah in our house. I don't know if a lot of you know what woosah is, but this is woosah. Let me take these out because I can't do woosah with earrings in. Okay. So when I Tom and a lot of times Tommy catches the red flags before I do. Okay. He really does because he's like really tuned in. It's awesome. But he'll be like, "Destiny." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Woosa." And so what we do is we just put our fingers on our earlobes and we rub Woosa. Now I think that's from a movie he watched. And so but it works. It really works. And so hold on one second. I do apologize.
Hey, 1111, how are you? Welcome back. Nice to see you. Thank you, Melissa and Eat Sleep for dropping links. I appreciate it. Mhm.
Melissa says, "We can hear you, Mr. Pickles. They can hear you just fine. You don't need to swap." Yeah, and he's gone through a lot too, and I didn't know that animals could have PTSD
Oh, yeah. Oh,
until just recently, actually. And so I am here for him, and he is here for me. And so he's an emotional support animal
right,
to
right,
me, and I'm his emotional support human to him.
right. So let me ask you, have you learned, like, I don't know if you've gone to therapy or not or whatever, but if you have they taught you any different things to help you like combat being afraid of people, being afraid around of people? Like, is there anything that you can do to kind of like get into the mix?
No,
Mm,
I have gone to counselors.
Mhm.
which I did explain in my live. They were unsympathetic. I think that's what I'm looking for. Unkind,
Mm.
and made it seem like I was making these things up when I would go and talk to them. They were like, "Oh, it's not rational for you to feel that way."
Mm.
I don't feel counseling is good for everybody.
Mhm.
I you need to do what you're comfortable with. And for me, counseling and medication isn't the way I want to try to deal with this,
Mhm.
because I have been put on so many medications and they don't work for me because I don't like the way they make me feel. I do not want to be a zombie
Mhm.
and just sit there and drool all over myself, you know, in order to get through the day.
Mhm.
And so Tommy actually is the one that helped me by going out in public with me. Let me know when you want to go. And he groomed me a good
Mhm.
way to be around people.
Mhm.
And I still to this day have a fear of people. But it's getting that part of it's getting better, and but I don't know if I will ever be 100% where I can go out in public and
By
talk to
yourself.
people and be okay. I mean, we go to Walmart and I can't find him and I start to panic. We go to the flea market and he's just a couple booths down, and I turn around and I look and I'm like, oh no, 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 no. But it's baby steps.
Right, right.
It's baby steps. And I am the one that has to be willing to take that first
I
step.
am so glad you said that. That is important.
It
Guys,
is. It's very important.
to be, if you are going through any similar situations that are being discussed now, she just said the most important thing. It is up to you to make the first step in order to go towards your healing, or at least get some type of to get to get somewhere, like to get away from
Mhm.
that feeling that has been plaguing you forever. Yes, I'm so glad
Yes.
you
You
said.
know, and that's the thing with people who have mental illness. You know, we have to decide when enough is enough and take the first step to move in the direction we need. Everything else, counseling, medication, the people around us, all the literature, all the doctors, they can't do what they need to do unless we make that first step. And a lot of people feel that I've talked to in the past feel that, no, it's the doctor's fault why I'm not better. No, you didn't want to take that
Right.
first step.
That's right.
You want to be sick. And, and the thing is Tommy has said to me, which I needed to hear, he's like, why do you enjoy being sick? And I'm like,
Mm.
whoa, hold on. I don't.
Mhm.
But he wasn't saying it in the way that I took it.
Mhm.
He was
Mhm.
asking
Mhm.
me a question.
Right, right.
And so I had to sit back, and he was like, wait, before you chew my head off, think about what I just asked you.
Right, right,
And
right.
I'm like, huh, I never thought of it that way. And that's one thing I absolutely love about him is the fact that it sounds like he's being a jerk, but
No,
he
not at
asks
all.
the real questions
Yep.
that make you sit there and wonder, huh,
It
why didn't
kinda
I think
triggers
of
you. It triggers you to be like, "Wait
that?
a second, I don't wanna be sick, so I have to
Yeah,
do the
no.
opposite of what I've."
Oh,
Yeah,
and the thing is I never wanted to admit that I was sick.
right.
I never wanted to say, hey, I got mental illness. No, I'm normal. I'm fine. It's you that's got the problem. Put the brakes on. No, I have the issue. I have that going on in here, and I need to change it. And that's what people with mental illness need to realize. You're not going to go anywhere unless you decide to make that first step. And I
Yeah.
know I've been saying it repeatedly, but it is 100% true.
Mhm.
The doctors aren't going to help you. The medication isn't going to help you. You have to help yourself before you can do anything else. And for me, like I said, I've been to counselors, I've been on meds, I've been hospitalized, I've had very difficult people in my life that didn't make things any better. And then I got one person in my life that was like, put the brakes on, you need to hear the real. As he says once in a while, got to keep it 100, which I had to ask him what that meant. And I know I butchered how to say it.
No, you're right. Keep it 100. That's right.
Keep it 100. You got to keep it real. And so I didn't know that I wasn't keeping it real.
Right.
And then starting YouTube, I started October 28th. I think I put my first video up of last year. I put my first video up the November 1st, I think. I can't quite remember.
Hold on. October 28th is the same day I published my first book.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's the day that the Shamrock Pixie became the Shamrock Pixie.
And like everything that she's saying, guys, is what we've been talking about, what I've been talking about from day one. Like, it only takes one person to really like keep your spark going. So that's why we're so important and trying to be like whole in ourselves so that we can be a support system for others, because it's just that one person sometimes that will make the difference. One person will help you survive the rest of your life. And this is a living example right here.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, I was in a storm, a severe storm, and this is how I feel. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. It feels like you're in a hurricane, a tornado, and everything's whipping around you so fast. And the wind is going this way, and you don't know which way you're going to go. And then there's your salvation, your light, your rock that's going to hold you to the ground and encourage you no matter what. And sometimes I need him to be raw, to be brutal, but he knows how to do it in a way that is gentle. Yeah, it's gentle. Sometimes I don't take it right away as being gentle. I'm like, oh, you're being a jerk, but I use a different term. And he'll look at me and he'll be like, I'm doing what you asked. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to be that cutthroat. I wasn't. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so he'll repeat it. And he's like, take the jerk part out that it's you and truly listen to the words. And I do. I sit back and I think about what he says. And I'm like, this is not fair. You are not allowed to make more sense than I feel. You know, and we do. We are not 100% perfect. I know he gets frustrated with me when I go through certain mood swings, certain episodes that are really bad. The mornings when I wake up from a nightmare, I think are probably the 10 times worse than any other episode that I could go through. Because, so let me give you an example. I was watching this program on TV. I don't remember what it was about. Now, I know that Tommy will always be 100% faithful. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that he would never cheat on me. I know this. I know this. But because of my past, I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning bawling. And he was like, why are you crying? And I yelled at him. I said, you are a two-time jerk. Again, I'm censoring because
I know.
And he was like, whoa. He's like, honey. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and I was so mad and I was bawling. He's like, you were having a bad dream again, weren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm getting used to it. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have to get used to it. And that's why,
Mhm.
you know, he
Accountability for your
shouldn't
own
have to
actions.
be used to me breaking down in tears for no reason. But he is. And I hate the fact that he has to be used to it. But he chose to stay. He chose to accept me for my good and my bad. And that's what everybody should have.
And I think what people need to hear out of that sentence that you said was that you hold yourself accountable. You hold
Hmm.
yourself accountable for your actions.
I
So,
did that first. I
right.
did that first, and that is something that I've had to learn to do. I was like, nope, it's all your fault. Nope, you did it. I did it. You're crazy. And in all actuality, I was the one that was crazy. I was the one that was acting a fool and not realizing or admitting that it was my fault. And that is something that I still have to work on every single day.
How do you keep yourself from not like giving up and leaving? Because I know, like you said, like, okay, I can just assume that you must feel guilty sometimes for how you act. What keeps you from saying, you know what, I'm just gonna throw the whole relationship away because everything is my fault. Nobody's gonna want to deal with me. That kind of thing. Or does that even cross your mind?
Oh, it does.
Hmm.
It does. But I think he's got like a sixth sense
Yeah.
when I'm going through that, because then he does something so sweet and caring and loving. And I'm like, wait a minute, why was I even thinking that?
Hmm.
But that's part of the PTSD.
Right, right.
That's part of the anxiety. That's part of the depression. You have thoughts. You have, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, he might be asleep. You have things that don't make sense happening in your head. And now I don't hear voices, I don't hallucinate.
No, no, no.
But the voices that I hear in my head
Self
are
doubt.
of people of the past.
Okay.
It's different. It's different. It's like a memory. It's not um what's the word I'm looking for? What's that? They're flashbacks. Thank you, honey. He is kind of awake. Um, and that's the thing too. I will start on something and end up somewhere way far away from what I originally wanted to say. Squirrel moments. And he's like reeling me back in, and he's able to finish sentences that I can't. And so the flashbacks for PTSD, flashbacks, um, they're very real. You get thrown back into when it happened. You don't realize that you're in a safe spot, and you feel cuts. You feel
Mm.
the swings and the fist connecting. You feel and see and experience all them emotions all over again. And that's why PTSD is very, very hard to deal with.
Hmm.
Tommy has woke up with bruises
Mm.
because I have the nightmares, and I'm kicking and trying to get this person off of me, and they're not there, but my brain doesn't comprehend that that person's no longer there, that I'm in a safe space, and that Tommy would never ever do the things to me that my ex did. And sometimes he's got to move and try to wake me up by saying my name, and then there's other times he knows that he's got to grab onto me and kind of lightly shake and say, Destiny,
wake up, right?
Yeah, wake up. He hasn't done that in a while. So I think that part of it's okay as of right now. But there are other times where I literally will inch him further and further off the bed where he goes and falls off. And I always thought that it was just because I move around a lot in my sleep. No, it's because I'm trying to get closer to him to feel safe. But all I'm doing is pushing him out of the bed. Mm-hmm. And I have woke up a couple mornings where he's been on the couch and I'm like,
sorry.
I got out of the bed, didn't I? And he's like, yes. And you stole all the blankets. And I'm like, sorry, honey. But in the end, with this, you have to learn your own trigger signs too. You have to learn you have to know your signals. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They just want to live like that.
Don't want to put the work in.
Yeah, they don't. And it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I am now. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say, oh, it's so easy. It was yesterday. I was diagnosed. I'm good today because, that's just how it's going to be. No, it's been a long time and it will be a long time. And so just remember, you're not alone and somebody else out there is feeling the same way. And you're never going to be able to connect with that person if you don't open your mouth and say it how it is. Mm-hmm. You have to reach out. You really do. Now, I know there was a question way before that, and I think I got way off the question.
What? No, that answered the question.
Okay.
Do you know what causes you to be in depression? Like what caused it, or like do you feel it coming on, and how do you cope with kind of crawling out?
Honestly, the depression part, I don't know. I don't remember it. I really don't. I can go days where I just want to sleep and I don't want to get out of bed. And I don't know what or why I'm feeling the way I am. Then other times it's like, oh, it's a great day. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, yep, I'm going back to bed. It varies. And honestly, I don't know, I can't answer exactly how I get out of that rut because I haven't found it yet. It comes and goes, and it really stinks when it's to that point. And I have tried many different things to try to dig myself out of it, but it doesn't work. And I haven't found, or I haven't been able to recognize what pulls me out.
Have you ever thought about maybe the foods that you eat might cause an emotional trigger? Because our foods are filled with so many different chemicals, and it kind of sometimes kind of.
I never thought of that, but I should keep an eye on that, because I know before my spleen, I would eat and I'd be like, done, my stomach hurts. And that was all related to my spleen. Mm. So it's been 3 months, almost 4. So honestly, I think I'm going to have to, let me write that down because that's actually a really good thing to kind of maybe analyze is the word, I think. Let's see, food.
Because I know, and again, just like Destiny, I'm not a doctor, but I try to pay close attention to information that I hear. But foods, our foods have chemicals in them, and like she said in the beginning, everybody's let's just say if you have PTSD or depression or fear of people, if you have any of those symptoms, it may not trigger you the same way that Destiny gets triggered, and you may not be able to handle it the same way Destiny may handle it. Maybe you might handle it a little better than Destiny, or vice versa. But if you know, that's the same way with the foods. It's like I can eat like a food allergy. You can eat watermelon, and then I may eat watermelon and I break out. Or you can eat a strawberry and then I break out if I eat a strawberry. So it's like food sometimes does different things to each and every one of us. So it's not like it's not uncommon that food can kind of, you know how like food is just like alcohol. Like there's some alcohols that you drink that make you really happy, and then there's some alcohols that you drink that make you really low. So it's the same
Or
thing.
make you hug a tree.
The tree. You know, so like, you know, I think paying attention to what we eat can kind of help. You know, it's not the answer, but at least if you know, like, hey, if I eat this, then after I eat this, this is how I feel. And I kind of start feeling or thinking a certain way, then maybe you might want to eliminate that from your diet. I don't know. So.
You know, and speaking of food, now I know that there's anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, and I think there's like a couple other ones. But I know for me, like, I have a binge eating problem. It's kind of mixed in with my PTSD and anxiety. I noticed that, and it is on my paperwork and everything, that when I go through like the low part of the depression where it's like sad and I don't want to eat. I don't want to look at food. I can go a couple days without eating. But then when I come out of it, all of a sudden I want to eat everything in sight. And I explained it to my doctor, and he says it's binge eating and it's emotional binge eating. And I was like, well, I don't want to get fat again. I'm like, this really concerns me. I used to be 285 pounds at one time.
Wow.
I am 149, I think.
Girl.
And so my ex-husband kept me fat, emotional wise. And so the more he would insult my weight, the bigger I would get. I also have had a kidney issue on top of it, so that didn't help matters. But I left him finally and was able to drop a large amount of weight, like a massive amount of weight, because I didn't have him beating on me and cutting me down. I still had his voice in my head, but it was, for some reason, I don't know what exactly happened. I just know that I lost a tremendous amount of weight. Plus, I ended up in the hospital, which I lost the rest of the weight because of that. They had to drain my kidney. And so the emotional battle scars that we have can trigger binge eating, according to what the doctor had said. And so I do good. Like, I don't eat a lot of sweets. When Tommy and I met, I drank water. I didn't drink soda. He got me back on soda. But no, I mean, I don't touch the diet stuff. That stuff is bad for you. Diet soda is horrible for you. I'd rather drink a regular soda than to have a diet soda. But I know a lot of people that love diet soda, and they're bigger people. You know that the diet soda is the reason why you're gaining weight, right? That's a whole different conversation. But you know, I do monitor, like, I don't eat breads like I used to. I had to have a dinner roll or some type of bread with dinner every night.
Not anymore.
Met Tommy. He didn't eat bread. I got him eating bread, and now I don't eat that bread.
You groomed him into a bread eater.
I live through him, watching him eat his bread. I'm good. So yeah. So I mean, it's it's crazy. Food, I think, probably does contribute to a lot of things. And I think I'm going to do some research on that because that's actually a really good thing to look, I think, into and see if that helps.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to say that I may not have asked that like is really, really important, like with the cooking or anything? She's like, no.
Um, I'm not sure. Does anybody in chat have a
Oh
question?
yeah, please guys, if you have questions, put a question
Yep.
mark in and then a question mark behind.
Yeah, because I can answer what I can in chat if anybody has any questions. My email has been dropped into chat.
Yeah.
I do have a merch, Amazon merch. It's Tommy and I's. In there, it has my much love hoodie and t-shirts.
Guys, if anybody can grab, or unless you want to put
Yeah,
the.
I have it right here. It is under the bargain effect. Oops. Let me make sure I'm spelling that right because it doesn't look right. Okay. Anyway, there we go.
Again, guys, if you have questions for, hey, shown up, how are you? Welcome back. And definitely, Leticia, thank you for coming by again. And
yes.
If you guys have questions about anything mental health related that you want to ask Shamrock, she's being very transparent. And she's here basically talking about this so that if anybody is going through what she's going through, that you can absolutely ask her, and she's more than willing and happy to share.
Yeah, and you can email me. I'm on Instagram under the Shamrock Pixie. You can email me personally or directly to my email, theshamrockpixie@gmail.com. If you want to talk or you just want to share your story, I will listen. I'm here and I will be doing more lives to talk about this on my channel because I feel it's important. I feel that if I don't do this, I'm just gonna bury myself again, close up, and never come out. And that's not what I want to do. I think I was put here and I'm still here to help people and who experience it with me, who fear that one day they're going to do something that is going to hurt a whole lot of people. I do have the National Suicide Hotline under my video or my live that I did the other day. So if you can't talk to me, at least call that number and talk to them. I'm looking at other numbers as well. I'm just not sure which direction I'm supposed to go into on like people that you can talk to, PTSD that experience it as well. It's important that we share and we're there and help each other. It's the most important thing is to help each other through this because by ourselves we can't do much, but
Together,
when you have an army, you can beat anything.
Yep.
And so thank you, Derek. Hi, Derek. I just saw that you were in chat, my friends.
Do you think that you have to like, and please forgive me if I'm stepping on toes or anything, but do you think that you ever have to like worry about your kids maybe having any symptoms?
And if they do, it'll be all right because I don't want them to have it. I don't want them to go through it. I don't want them to have this sickness. But if by some chance they do, I want to be there to lift them up and to let them know that they're not alone. I will feel guilty. I know I will. But it's who we are. We have to accept who we are, and we need to make sure that people know the signs, the symptoms, what we go through. So if one of my children were to come up with it, it's not going to change the way I feel about them. I'm still going to love them, and I'm still going to be there for them the best that I can.
Mm-hmm. But at least you'll know, like,
I'll know. Yeah, and Tommy will probably be the first one to recognize the signs, and he'll be like, "Your fault," not like more of a letting me know, hey, we need to seriously sit down and figure out what's going on with them,
right.
see what is the problem. So, because he does goofy things that make me laugh, and he takes. This is something else that's cool about him. He takes my problems that I have, my illnesses, and turns them into a joke so that I'm more comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken me a long time to realize that and to catch it. But now he will joke back and forth with me, and it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And he will be on my channel, talking about what it's like to be with somebody who has mental illness.
Right.
He does have his email, thebargaineffect@gmail.com. You can message him if you are somebody who's with somebody who has mental illness and you need to vent. You need to just say, hey, I need to scream for a second. Will you listen? He's there because he knows what it's like. He's the one that supports me and helps take care of me. And if there's anything that you guys need to understand, to
Yes.
he's just a scratch away on a record back there. But if you need anything that he may be able to help you with, hit him up, because it's not just the person who has mental illness that is affected by the mental illness. It's everybody that is involved with that person.
Yep.
And so that's why he said, just let them know. They can hit me up if they need help or advice or just need to vent, because he's been there. Mm-hmm. He's still there, and he will always be there until there is a cure for it. And so with that, I mean, I thought that was really awesome. And he's the one that encouraged me the most. He's the one that sat at my computer while we were talking the day before I went live. And we looked on YouTube, PTSD. All that came up was doctors and counselors. There was nobody we could find that
human.
Yeah, that was human, that was talking about what they were going through. We did the same thing with depression and anxiety, and I mean, the list just went on, and we were like, I was looking at him like, what does that mean? Why that is all doctors and counselors? They really, a lot of them do. Mary Deathly Deals, I believe, is the one that pointed out that a lot of them, suffer from it, and that's why they go to school to try to help people, but then they tend to forget that they're going through it and they need to help people and explain, yeah, I'm going through this. This is what's happening. This is how I deal with it. They forget to help the people. They get so wrapped up in the money. And that's what's more important.
Or maybe even if it's not about money, maybe they get so wrapped up in saying, like, I can't be weak because my patient may not believe that I can help them.
Right.
Now they have to put their pride up.
Yeah.
Not be able to say, hey, look, I'm your doctor. I know what I can do for you, but you're not alone. I've been
right.
I'm going through.
If one doctor would have said that to me, I think it would have been a lot easier for me to tolerate the doctors, but none of them did. None of them did. And they make you feel like you're so crazy that you should be locked up. And when I did my live, I confessed a lot of things. I came out with a lot of things. And when I left that live, when I hit the end button, I've never felt so much relief.
Right, the weight.
The
Hmm.
weight came off my shoulders, and I'm like, you know what? Tommy was right. Once again, Tommy was right. This is what I need to do.
Melissa,
And
I'm sorry, Melissa, can you
yep,
put the live that she did in the chat, please? Okay, go ahead.
yep. And I like what she says, never give up. That's the
Hmm.
most important thing is don't give up. Don't give up.
But yeah, this was very, 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 very cool. I definitely am thankful for that, for you sharing this, because it's a conversation and that's like what I like to do, the documentaries that I do, the
Hmm.
I've seen through my eyes. I like to do that because the purpose is that we're not alone. That's kind of like the purpose of Hello World, like it's kind of like we'll get positive tools to just be able to help each other, even help cope within ourselves. But like having real life people who actually are going through real life situations make it even
Hmm.
easier to like, it makes it better. It makes me outside looking in be like, okay, I can show a little bit more compassion because, like I heard of the word PTSD, and all I associate that with are people from the army that come back from
Hmm.
the military. And all I think about is, oh, they just come back messed up because they've seen too many things. But I never thought about the physical aspects of like maybe they remember the explosion of that bomb that killed their friend, or like the pellets or the rocks that hit them with the explosion or the debris. Like, so it just brings more reality for me to
Hmm.
understand that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Um, it is so much more um, known for people who've been in the service to have PTSD. And because that's where I believe, if I remember correctly, that's where it was brought to light. But you don't think of somebody who is a housewife or a child who has been through negative, nasty, terrible things. You don't think of that. Um, you don't associate it with it. And I have never been in the service,
Hmm.
never. So a lot of people, when I say I have PTSD, they're like, "Oh, what branch did you serve?" And I'm like, "Hold
Well,
on,
I think, yeah.
I support the military. I have two brothers. I have a grandfather. I have um, my dad, my biological father, actually. I have a lot of family that were in the service, and I support the servicemen and women 100%. But I never served. Mine is due to abuse and
Mm,
trauma. And people tend to not realize or make that connection. And maybe someday I can, there'll be a cure to help. And I do pray for that. I pray that there will be a cure for all these mental illnesses because nobody should have to suffer like that. I mean, there are people, I've met people that are so much worse than I am.
mm,
And you just, for me, when I see people like that, I just want to like wrap them in my arms and just hug them and tell them it'll be okay. You will be okay. But I can't do that. I just can't do that. So this is my way of doing that.
mhm,
Um, and YouTube has helped. Tommy thought it would help me. It has helped. Um, it hasn't cured it. It hasn't fixed it a lot. I would say maybe 5-10%. It
mm,
has helped. And I need that. I love people, but I'm terrified of people, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so here I am in this little cocoon,
Mm-hmm.
all the walls around me protecting me so that the outside world can't hurt me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Tommy, the social butterfly. Okay. We are complete opposites. I'm telling you, we're complete opposites. And he doesn't like when the blinds are drawn. And that's a red flag that I know that he knows. That one I do know. When I shut all the house completely dark, I know I'm gonna go through an episode. I know it because that's just what happens. That's one of my red flags that I do know. Um, and so being with somebody who is a social butterfly has its pros and its cons. The pros are that he has helped me little by little get out there. The bad, I don't want to be out there. I just don't want to be out there. There's too many people. There's too many strange and crazy things that go on out there. I'm safer in my bubble. But he doesn't let me stay in my comfort zone. And so you can't grow if you don't have a little bit of discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you were a child and your legs hurt because they were growing?
Pains, yes.
Exactly. Growing pains. You have to move and give yourself a little bit, no matter how hard it hurt or how bad it hurts. You got to have them growing pains or you're never going to go anywhere.
Yep. Well, guys, I think we've badgered Destiny enough. But you know how I like to end my chat. Um, do you have any last words you want to say?
I can give you my favorite proverb.
Okay.
It's an Irish proverb, and I say it a lot, but your feet will take you where your heart is.
That's right.
And I love that saying. And it means something different to everyone who hears it. And just anytime you feel stuck, anytime you feel that you just can't do it. And I saw that Leticia said she was ready to give up her channel.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You can do this. Stay positive. You have people that love you. Keep rocking on, girl. You are here. You are special. You are loved. Keep your channel. And
Yep.
if you ever need to talk, you know how to find me. I'm on Instagram, and you can get a hold of me in my email.
There you go. Guys, you are beautiful. You are amazing. There is no mistake about you. You were created, right? If we all believe that we're created from God, our maker, or whoever you believe in, if you know that we're little pieces of our creator. So that's why you should be thankful that you know that you are beautiful and there is nothing imperfect about you, because guess what? Perfection does not exist. Yes. I hope that you guys have a beautiful night's rest. I hope that you wake up refreshed and ready to be the difference. You are the difference every single day. Shamrock is a perfect example. Well, Destiny, she is a perfect example tonight about what being a difference is all about. So if you never understood what that meant, you do now. Um, Thank you guys for giving me a little bit of your time every single night. I'm here on Hello World between 7 and 9. Please check out Shamrock's video, check out her channel, subscribe, turn on the notification bells, support her, support me, because we are trying to make our world a better place. And so are you. Every single one of us who are here every night, you are to make make the world a better place. So continue to work on yourselves. Same thing that Shamrock was saying. Continue to work on yourselves. Make those imperfect or those ideas that you think are just not good about yourself a little better. Work on them. And then you'll be a little bit better so that you can be the difference. If you ever want to get to know anything about me, Be the Difference Clothing or Shamrock, her link is already in my description. There are links to my books, my website. Please support her merch. The Amazon link was in the chat. And definitely when you go to her channel and subscribe, you will probably see the link for her Amazon merch. So please support her. And I don't know. I just definitely just want to thank you guys for being here, for having an open heart to listen to what Shamrock Destiny had to say about her daily struggles. And I hope that it gave you a little insight so that you can be um, aware of the signs and also know that if you're the person going through something like this, you're not alone. And reach out to her and see if there's anything that might help you to like maybe take the next step if you do need to go seek counseling, that whatever the case, but she'll tell you if it's okay. So with that said, we're gonna have to leave it and be like, we got to end it off with hello world. Okay, thank you guys again for joining me for another, me and Shamrock, for this evening for another episode of, come on, say it with me,
Hello,
hello
world. Much love.
world, and much love. Yes.